Great day, everyone. My name is Four Eyes. I'm the advocate of prescription eyewear and the ambassador of everything awesome. I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard. Atlanta B Street salute.
It's Four Eyes, I carry the weight of the world on my back. What you do it for? It's Ultra Beast in the street.
Yes, sir. We got my man Four Eyes jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro?
Man, all praise to the Most High God. It's absolutely amazing. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, for sure, bro. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on the porch, man. I'm excited to build with you, man, and share your story with the world, man.
Hey, man, it's, like I said, great to be here. I'm glad that there's platforms like this where artists can share their story. I'm glad that you created something really deep diving into the journalism aspect of our stories. And once again, you'd have thought this was in New York or LA or something. And I was like, oh, they here? Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Much better.
Nah, for sure, for sure. It started on the porch in Decatur. I was working with Young Dolph, and we went to New York to do a press run, and like none of the interviews, were connecting. And so when we came back, his manager Al from Street Execs was like, "Spitty, you used to write for The Source, and y'all got DGB, and it's respected. Man, you should, start an interview. You should start doing interviews." And so, being a fan of the Hot Boys, they skits was called Off the Porch, and that's just what we live by. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
man.
being in the hood, and you know what I mean.
No, man, congratulations to you for bringing this to fruition, man, making this thing physically tangible for everybody to benefit from.
Yes, sir.
We all benefit from it, bro.
Word, nah, that's what's up, bro. I appreciate that, man. So, Four Eyes, bro. Like, first of all, you've been you had a point in time where you were dropping freestyles like every day on IG.
Yes, sir.
Sitting in front of the records or whatever, like
Yep.
you had the wall with all the records and everything, and you was going crazy, bro. What sparked you to do that, man? Because it seems like lyricism is almost a lost art right now.
Lyricism is a lost art because there's so many more, with this age being more fast food, visual, short attention span.
Yeah.
Lyricism is almost like reading a book, and more people are into videos or short form visual content.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't take away from the literature aspect, the writing penmanship aspect that goes into constructing a really good, piece of literature. That's just the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
And I just really was raised to honor that side of the craft, so I just really take my pen game, my vocabulary, my wordplay, I just take it really serious to where I put extra time in it that everybody might not put into it now, because they got to create the content, so they don't got time to put as much into the actual music.
Yeah.
So I'm a little different though.
No, for sure.
I brought it up because I used to work at Accent in the West End Mall. I used to sell men's clothes. So anytime it was birthday bash, everybody always came to get, the new freshest fits or whatever.
Yep,
And
yep.
I worked there off and on for multiple years. When I first moved to Atlanta, and then I went back there after music business started getting slow. I had them ups and downs. But the reason I bring it up is because Polo as a brand, it lasts, it's timeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, why don't we get the same time for FUBU? Why don't we get the same time for, Eniche, LRG, Cross
Right.
Colors, Carl Kanai, all the brands? It's like we have quick flip seasons, and then we're not allowed to maintain a certain legacy or heritage with it. It's like we're forced to move on the same
Yeah.
way we move on our elders of hip hop or
Yeah.
the founders of hip hop. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you at a certain age and now you're disposable. And from a physical aspect, I get it. If it's basketball, football, you want the top athlete to be in physical condition. But when it comes to the mind gets better with age. So everyone's songs, everyone's music, everyone's contributions artistically, the substance naturally would improve, but we've created this policing system that now throws out or discards artists regardless once they get to a certain age or something, and
Yeah.
there is a part of the problem or the issue that we need to, the illusion that we need to remove the veil from, if you will.
That makes so much sense too, because I think that us as a culture being trendsetters and, you know, being visionaries, it helps us in a lot of ways, but then it's a detriment in some ways because, man, like what you just said, it made me think about all of this, because we'll bring out a brand or we'll say that something's hot, and it's literally that. It's hot, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll be hot for a moment of time, and then we on to the next one.
Yes.
Like I said, being visionaries, being trendsetters is always what's the next hot thing. So then comes all right, I'm on this new hot wave. Oh, that's old. Like, that's the old wave. Like, I've been past that. And I think that mentality takes a lot of our brands, whether it's from music to clothing, things like that, and it puts a time limit on it.
It's like, and once again, I can never have a conversation without taking into consideration that, you know, I don't like using the term black because it's false. I'm not black. None of us are. But it's the term that we identify with.
Yeah.
We're various shades of brown.
Right.
And multiple shades of brown. But we identify with black. And black in the law dictionary is classified as a dead term. Anything labeled as black in the law is looked at as dead. So for us to constantly identify with the term black, it's like that's why it's so much deaf in our music, it's so much deaf in our culture, is because we don't know that we're identifying with something that doesn't have a heritage, it don't have a culture. We could say that it does, but traditionally it doesn't. It's something that we gave it, and we're not even the first black people. White people are really black people. If you look up the etymology of words and the origin and how black is a term that is used to describe pale. So who is really pale? So we're not black, but we get lumped into it, and there's so many other things that we get lumped into to where we don't hold on to or value the true essence of who we are because we don't know who we are. So then we do the quick flip. We get in it for the bag and then we sell it. And like if Bob Johnson would have held on to BET, like that alone would have been a signal, a lighthouse, a pillar of stability or integrity or value. And because we don't really have that, which is why I brought up polo. Polo been polo for my whole life.
Yeah.
So I look for those things in areas where the originators or founders look similar to me.
Right. Yeah, because like we say, like polo is it's lifestyle. Like polo has been at this level probably since like the 1940s or something, or 50, you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. But so many of the brands that are associated with people that look like you and myself come across as trendy, and then like you say a niche to somebody, you know, that clothing brand, or you talk to somebody about 10 Deep, or, you know what I mean, all brands that were really dope, LRG, you know what I mean? But now it's looked at in a certain light because it's not trendy right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody had Moschino on. Everybody had Moschino on.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I thought he was finna be the new Carl Kanai or the new Fubu guys, and then it was like, then he had beef with his partners or something to where he had to split, and then it was Moschino and what was it, Moschino and Muscan or something like that?
I remember that, yeah.
So it was just that level of.
And did some of them cats branch to Greedy Genius? I can't remember.
Hey, but we got to get to a point where we have the common denominator of what's in the best interest for everybody as a collective.
Yeah.
We got to stop being so individual with our movements and kind of be more, you know, group oriented. But then, you know, if, you know, the weak link in the chain fuck the whole chain up, so then it's hard to associate yourself with a group if you got, you know, knuckleheads in the group. So then that's where, as Michael Jackson said, you start with the man in the mirror, and if everybody starts with improving the quality of their reflection, the sooner you see somebody that reflect light similar to what you looking to establish your tangible reality out of, then you resonate with that frequency and get in alignment with it, and now, you know, two heads is always better than one. It takes a village.
Yeah.
I mean, the group or the collective is where we benefit or win, and everybody can easily look at our society and the history of things and know that there are forces working to keep us separate and apart,
Sure.
because it behooves them or is in their best interest for us not to be working together,
Nah, for
not
sure.
to be on our square, not to tighten up, not to have integrity, decency, morals. They smash in the game because we have not established these things individually, let alone collectively.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I just saw an IG post where a guy asked Chat GPT if I was he said something like, if I was the devil, how would I keep, the black family separated? And when the Chat GPT described it back to him, it was basically like, I would, pin the man against the woman. I would make the woman feel as if her work status and salary status is more important, this, that, and the third. It was just crazy, because it's a lot of the things that we just see right now, a lot of the gender wars and things like that. We only see that amongst people of color, amongst, black people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see like any of these pages that are predominantly, white audiences and things like that. I don't see them talking about who paying for the bills or who paying for dinner, or is we 50-50? Like, that's not even a conversation.
Yeah. No, these are seeds being planted from the outside to fuck up our garden.
Yeah.
The constant weeds that's being planted that's going to choke out the flowers and make it to where, just any horticulture that we intended to do, it goes for naught.
Yeah.
Because it's levels to it.
Yeah.
And folks do 1 and 2 and 3 and think that they done. It's like, nah, you forgot it's still 4, 5, and 6. And
Yeah.
then another nigga come along and say, hey, don't forget about 7, 8, 9. And it's just a constant reevaluating of our position, perspective, and shifting the paradigm to where we can literally shift things in our environment. And it all starts within our mind. And if we constantly thinking crazy, feeling crazy, emoting crazy, then those representations are gonna come out crazy in our physical. And that's what's happening. It's in the music, it's in relationships, it's in everything. And man, we just gotta get back to that lost shit and the shit that they are sweeping under the rug or keeping suppressed.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta start digging.
We got to open our eyes more.
That's why 4 Eyes is here.
Come on now.
I was literally created by the Most High and brought down here to embody this energy, this spirit, this vision, this light.
Yeah.
Like, my real name is Tony. Tone is my nickname. Tone is vibration. Tone is frequency. In the beginning was the word. The word is a tone. It's a vibration. It's a frequency.
Yeah.
So we go back to the beginning. We have to get in accord and vibrate in a right manner that will allow us to tune into the most magnificent radio stations. A lot, like right now, we're tuning into fucked up radio stations because that's where our signal is.
Right.
But as soon as we adjust our frequency, we'll tune into a much more heavenly, utopian, divine reality.
Yeah.
And it's literally right there at our fingertips, but we don't know it. It's looked at as science fiction, it's mythology, it's witchcraft, it's all these things that are set up to keep us constantly looking outward as opposed to looking inward.
Nah, for sure. I consider myself, a person in tune, with my spirit, knowledge of self. But I feel like you kind of got a cheat code, because I look out my third eye, you looking out your fourth eye.
That was a part of the gift. I didn't consciously ask for it, but I assumed it's the role I signed up for when I entered into this simulation. I knew the gifts that my character was gonna have, just like we all know.
Absolutely.
The attributes of our character when we grab the controller,
Yeah.
and then we log in.
Yes, sir.
So I'm fully, at this point now, fully aware of it, fully accepted it, and yeah, we just walking in our truth. We walking in the truth.
Yes, sir.
The truth. It ain't just my truth. It's the truth.
Nah, for sure, for sure. And when we started the interview, bruh, I should have put some more respect on your name and introduced you as the legendary Four Eyes.
Oh, that's good.
Because, bruh, you're considered a legend in, you know, the underground realm of hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have like a cult following. You know what I mean? And people who have been following you and truly appreciate your craft for, you know what I'm saying, almost 20 years now.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you. A lot of times, you know, out of sight be out of mind. So if a lot of folks ain't necessarily seeing me or I'm not shaking and moving and doing the necessary stuff on my end, you know, it feels like you can be overlooked or passed up, skipped, whatever. And anytime someone acknowledges me for anything I've done, whether it's a BET Uncut video, a MF Doom feature, a Ludacris feature, passing out a CD with a chicken wing in a plastic bag at the bounce, whatever it is that I've done that people remember me for, it always resonates and means the most to me, because meeting somebody once could change your life, as it has done for me. And I just want to pay it forward and make sure that I can help inspire as many people as I've been inspired by.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And bro, I remember the first time I was introduced to you was on Luda's Back for the First Time album, on the Mouthing Off song. And
classic.
I mean, bro, like, they was just like a display of lyricism, just, you know what I'm saying, across the board, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a song that, you know what I'm saying, that just resonates with so many people. And if you love rap, if you love bars, if you love, you know what I mean, then you can really, you know, appreciate, like, you know what I'm saying, like what you bring to the table, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it. I just always was raised on good hip hop, good lyricism, that line for line, bar for bar, like every line is like your shot in a dunk contest. So it's like, I'm from Chicago, so just the Michael Jordan level of excellence when it comes to performing on the grand stage, or even, you know, whether it's, I always go to my old school cats first, but you know, what KRS-One did for me as far as entertainment and education, mixing the two together to where I'm not just out here having fun so much as I understand the responsibility that I have, because there's always each one teach one. Yeah. And, you know, without being preachy or trying to teach motherfuckers that don't want to learn, to still, if you could see somebody like, hey, that's hot, or hey, you're gonna get electrocuted, or hey, your zipper's down, or your shoes untied, just basic shit. Yeah. Like, those are still moments where we could all help, and they're so small, but a bunch of small steps will still get us to Antarctica.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I remember back then, bro, when that album came out, when that freestyle, you know what I'm saying, started buzzing and everything, from the outside looking in, I thought y'all was all some Atlanta cats.
Man.
You know what I mean? So then to find out, you know, because I'm from Milwaukee, I'm from the Midwest, not too far from the Chi. So when I found out that y'all was all some Chicago cats and was doing y'all thing like that, it was just even more of a reason, you know what I mean, to champion.
And see, you are a good journalist, and see, being from the Midwest, exactly, when you find out somebody from your neck of the woods, it matters, it helps, it's inspirational.
Absolutely.
Also, that's why it was so hard for me to kind of tell my story in the beginning, because the only reason why I came to Atlanta was because I started rapping with Luda freshman year of high school before he moved away. But he's getting this deal through Def Jam as Def Jam South. So it's like, you can't really say the Def Jam South artist is from Chicago, you gotta really embrace that Atlanta. Right. So in the wholehearted embracing of Atlanta, I got further and further moved from said stories, said introductions, said, you know, light. Yeah. And even in not wanting to, you know, fuck up the story. Like, if this WWF wrestling and I know Hulk Hogan finna beat Andre the Giant, I don't want to fuck that up. So I'm gonna be cool or be quiet and not, you know, mess up the script.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it's like, damn, my story is not being told at all because I allowed it to be buried for the sake of establishing this Atlanta record label. Because in my mind, Disturbing the Peace is like, that's the next thing after So Def, after Organized Noise. DTP is the next major record label in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Before Grand Hustle, before Jeezy and goddamn
CTE.
Corporate Thugs Entertainment. Like before any DTP to me, as an outsider coming in, would have been the third record label hip hop wise to get it popping. So when shit just went horribly,
Yeah.
DTP, it's nigga, it was a lot of trash can fires over there. A lot of trash can fires. And even when the DTP album comes out, I'm not on the cover. Like the group album. Like I snapped on the first Luda album, I
Yeah.
snapped on the second Luda album.
Yeah.
So when the group album comes out, I'm not on it and on the cover, that's when I knew, okay, they really is like fuck Four Eyes for lack of a better term, but even to not take it personal, okay, he needs to maintain a narrative. There's a story that needs to be fostered in order to establish the brand, in order to, you know, so I played the business game. But, you know, over time, when you act like you cool with something, you start to resent it.
For sure.
Especially when you're not necessarily getting the whatever.
Yeah, you're not reaping none of the benefits.
Yeah,
You're
so
not
then-
getting none of the fruits.
Because I'm like, yo, if you knew that I had something to do with Jay-Z's Blueprint album, wouldn't that make a difference in my resume or my catalog? If you
Yeah.
knew I had something to do with, and I don't have nothing to do with the Blueprint album, I'm just saying metaphorically, that when there are hip hop classics that are out or major contributions that have been made and niggas' names is left out or, you know, they're mentioned in an afterthought, you know, fuck personal, professionally, I could do so much more if my name was attached to everything that I've done because it allows folks who are none the wiser to pay me my worth. If I say I need $1,000 for a verse and they're like, well, why should I give you $1,000 for a verse? And they're like, oh, well, I did a whole bunch of shit that you don't know about.
That's real. That's why it's so important to get your credit and to, you know what I mean? We can't be like, you can't be thirsty for it, but
Exactly.
But it's important to take your credit because sometimes you can humble yourself out of history.
That's why it took 25 years for me to talk in the manner that I'm speaking now, or to speak with the confidence as far as my involvement and contributions without worrying about the consequences or repercussions for what I've done and what I may say that is 100% nothing more than the truth. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So, were you ever officially signed to DTP?
I was signed to Ludacris Music Publishing, which I thought was signed to DTP, but I realized it wasn't the same. When Chris first got the deal, nobody had their business together per se, and by business I mean their publishing companies. So as it was pitched to me, everybody's gonna sign to Ludacris Music Publishing, which means Ludacris would collect all the money and then it's his job to pay us, which is cool. That's what he did when he brought out the album Incognito. He was running everything independently through Southern Distribution. So technically, once Def Jam came, partnered up with them, label deal, same thing applies. Only problem was, being ignorant sucks. And I will always take responsibility and accountability for my involvement or lack of awareness, knowledge, presence, pertaining to anything that involves me.
Yeah.
I don't blame nobody for nothing. So I will always say, yeah, being ignorant sucks. But it would have been nice if a nigga would have said, hey, it's really two sides to the publishing. It's 100% publishing, ownership of the record that I'm gonna keep and not tell you about. And then here's the other 100% that we're gonna split, 50% go to the writers, 50% go to the producers. So that was how I thought I was signed to DTP, but it was just me signed to Ludacris Music Publishing.
Gotcha.
But then, because Chris needs to establish DTP as a label, he has to say he has artists. Who are the artists he got? Shauna, I-20, Fate, 4 Eyes. These are the names that were said numerous times.
Absolutely.
So even now, now I'm excited because I think I got something coming. I think there's some type of hierarchy or order in which my project will, or some type of attention will be shown to my creative style and what I could bring to Disturbing the Peace as a Chicago nigga. Not from Atlanta, but living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hell no. Absolutely not. Like, no. To double down, I'm not on the Disturbing the Peace compilation album because Tity Boi, 2 Chainz is on it. 2 Chainz is from College Park. 2 Chainz gives Atlanta validity to Disturbing the Peace that it doesn't have because Chris is really from Chicago. Fate been down here the longest, but he's from Florida. 20 is from like Chicago and New York. The DJ, JC's from Detroit. Sean is from Chicago. I'm from Chicago.
Gotcha.
So it's no real Atlanta niggas per se in DTP. So when it's time to establish the group, nigga, when I seen Tity Boi on that cover, as much as I love Tity Boi, that nigga's cold, nigga. I was hurt. And I had been hurt numerous times before. There's multiple photo shoots that was taken without my involvement. But nigga, when they did the group album cover, and I don't see it until it's like in the stores type shit, nigga, that shit hurts.
Yeah, because I remember when Player Circle was added, like, to the situation, you seen, you know, Tit and Dollar.
Because I'm talking about, I snapped harder than Chris on his first album. It's not too many songs where a nigga out-rap Chris. So I might have got a little big-headed because I knew I did in the beginning. But I was still patient and humble because I didn't know a bunch of shit. So it wasn't until the second album when I'm recording for the second album. Let me back up real quick. Backstory. Chris's first lawyer, or at least lawyer that I knew of, was Dr. William Ashbourne. He taught law at Alabama State and Morris Brown. He pretty much, to my understanding, he helped Chris from the legal music business and get set up, situated, just the whole nine. Once Chris got with Def Jam, he got a new lawyer that had more relationships in the industry. I understand that, you know. They got more skin in the game and you want to level up, so you level up your lawyer. So now me and Chris went from having the same lawyer to not having the same lawyer. So now my lawyer is his lawyer's, like, I don't want to say adversary, but
I know what you're saying, though. They checking all the checks and balances, like, hey, what's going on here?
So on the second album, they want me to sign the Ludacris Music Publishing again. And my lawyer says, hell the fuck no. We ain't been paid right the first time, so why would we do it again? Now, mind you, when we're having this conversation, the album comes out tomorrow. The motherfucker's already been pressed up, shipped, it's in the stores, it's finna come out, but no paperwork is done. So now they're trying to get me to sign and, you know, go along with it to help build up.
Let's see here.
So once my lawyer suggested that we did not sign to Ludacris Music Publishing again for the second album, I felt like there was a conflict of interest. Like niggas started to not like me. And I already felt a certain type of way because I was being ostracized from the get-go, but now because I'm standing on business, now I'm like a nuisance, if you will, or I'm I'm just trouble. I'm unpredictable even, that's the big word, is they don't know what I'm gonna do.
Unhinged.
They can't control me, so that was the main thing. But then, after that, I was never on another Ludacris album again. As soon as I said that I wanted, as soon as my lawyer advised me that it'd be in my best interest to get my own publishing, that's when I've never. It ended after that. Like,
Wow.
but see, I was blaming Chaka for the longest time because Chaka used to talk to niggas crazy. Like, he just loved to talk to niggas crazy, and I really don't like being talked to crazy. So I wrote a song about it. And when I say I wrote a song about it, I mean I actually wrote a song about the song that I wrote about Chaka talking to me crazy. But I gave the song that I wrote about Chaka talking to me crazy to Chaka. And he played it in the DTP office in front of a bunch of people apparently. And yeah, it's been like, I've been blackballed ever since then.
How do you deliver somebody a personal diss record just for their own listening purposes?
He wasn't supposed to play it for everybody. I just wanted, and once again, I'm talking the same way I'm talking now. I wasn't calling nobody out of their names. I was just saying for what I've done and what I understand that's supposed to be done, there should be more being done in favor of 4 Eyes, his contributions to the group, or what he could offer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that was wrong. That was dumb as hell, and that was stupid, but I only did that because I was misled. If I hadn't been misled into thinking I was in a relationship, I wouldn't have been walking around trying to get wedding rings and shit.
Yeah. During this time, had you and Luda ever had direct conversations about the issues at hand? 'Cause I know
Nope.
a lot of times it'll be like where the lawyers, the business people behind the scenes are handling it, so it's kind of easy to, you know, just be neutral or to not address. Like, how did that go about?
And that's why I blamed Chaka for so long, because Chris is my best friend. I wouldn't blame him. It's not my best friend keeping me off his album. There's got to be some business making it so that I can't get on the album again. And giving Chaka that record didn't help either. So I understood that I was on punishment or in the doghouse or whatever you want to call it. But nah, me and Chris have never had a conversation in the realm of that. We have had surface conversations, or in light of me not going on the road, or me not getting an album or a spot in DTP, or let me back up. The main problem with DTP was that Chaka was Chris's manager and DTP was set up for Chris. It wasn't set up for Fate. It wasn't set up for 20. It wasn't set up for me. It wasn't set up for Shauna. And as a direct result, look at everybody's album or projects that I just named, because the shit wasn't set up for them. But everybody kept putting pressure on niggas to do shit for them, but it wasn't set up for them. So on one hand, instead of saying, hey, y'all need to go get y'all own managers, I don't know if that discussion was ever had, because it wasn't had to me. Yeah. What I was told was Chaka put his arm around me and said, hey, 4 Eyes, man, if you want Premier, if you want Pete Rock, we'll get you all of whatever you need. We just gonna support Chris, and we gonna get behind this boat and make sure he gets straight, then everything gonna be good after that. That's what I remember. I was at motherfucking the Atrium on Valentine's Day, I think. That's how vivid the memory is, because I'm like, yeah, I'm finna do it. And nigga, that was in 2000, 2001, if it was super early.
Yeah.
But it was like, there was never nothing set up for me, and then in the grand scheme, nigga, my imaging was terrible. I looked horrible in the beginning. I had no fashion sense. I wasn't trying to fit in. I wanted to dress as dumb as possible. And
This was by design?
No, on one hand, I just didn't know better.
Gotcha.
And then on the other hand, it was by design, because I was like, the Beastie Boys don't gotta goddamn put on no jabots and no shit. They wear, I'm just gonna wear t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
But from the marketing, nigga, rap music perspective, it's like you gotta have a look, you gotta have an image. It's not all about talent. And I didn't know that the music business was 90% business and 10% music.
Right.
I'm walking around thinking I'm supposed to get a bunch of shit. I'm mad at niggas off of 10% of music, not knowing that 90% of my business is fucked up. Or at least in contradiction to business that other niggas is doing.
Yeah.
So, it's been quite a ride.
Word. During this time, when you're going through all of this, obviously your partners from back home, everybody from the outside looking in is looking at you, and they're seeing success. folks automatically think you rich. You know what I'm saying? People probably start hitting you up asking to borrow money. During this time, where are you emotionally? And then how do you like maintain just not, letting the family business out? And you know what I mean?
Great question. On one hand, I'm a Virgo, and I consider Virgos to be loyal, even if they're just loyal to themselves. If they have their own principles, boundaries, integrity, and shit like that, then they'll be loyal to that, and that's good enough for everybody, technically. So it wasn't about necessarily doing dirt. As frustrated as I may have been numerous times, I just only wanted to be heard. Most people just want their story. Like children when they throw tantrums or whatever, niggas just want attention.
Yeah.
And in this case, it wasn't pointless attention. It was like, yo, I thought things was finna be this way, and it ended up being the complete opposite. But then, Chaka always would tell me, hindsight is 20/20. He was the first person I ever heard say it, and I always quote him for it, and I use that shit every goddamn day.
Yeah.
Because it's always easier to navigate and say what to do now after the fact.
Real shit.
So then how do you put that foresight into practice in the present moment and make it to where you're not trying to undo or backpedal on some shit?
Yeah, that's real.
And I was just an artist. I was a kid. Like, niggas was 22, 23, 24, and like, I keep forgetting, like that's a kid. Those are it's a young man, but
right.
As far as life experiences, it ain't like these niggas. Yeah, it ain't like the 40s. 22-year-old in 2002 ain't the same as even my daddy when he was 20.
Yeah. So,
I was just mad, naive. I was green. And I was just happy-go-lucky. I was just happy to be like, nigga, my best friend got a record label. He got a multi-million-dollar deal. I started rapping with this nigga. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't take the foot off the gas. Mm-hmm. I'm still doing things to apply myself, but I didn't look at it like, oh, you should look at this as, when it's your friend, you soften up.
Yeah.
If it's your enemy, you put your guard up. So I let my guard down because it's my friend.
A lot of times you will let more things slide than you would ever, you know what I mean? Because it's somebody you trust. It's, you know what I mean? Like somebody who you have a rapport with.
And one of the things that I'd like to represent always is forgiveness, because that nigga has done more good for me than bad. So for me to ever get anywhere and to piss a bitch about this, that, or the third, or he didn't do or something, like that would undermine the true fabric or quality of the relationship that we have. So yeah, I love that nigga. He did the most for me. As far as I'm in Atlanta because of my goals and dreams in association with how he could help. But then once help becomes a hindrance, because it's like, it's help when it's assistance, but if a nigga doing it for you, it's not help. So then that's what also gets lost, to where folks get comfortable and, stop applying themselves as much or as hard as they would or should because they on this team or got this relative or, may have this going for them, but that don't mean take your foot off the gas or be passive. It actually means go harder and obtain more knowledge. But hindsight is 20/20.
Hindsight being 20/20, and us speaking, you speaking the way that you're speaking now, back then, was your mindset, were your vibrations at the time somewhat on this level or no? Like, was this something that you grew into?
I've been on this, but the degree was very small.
Yeah. Because how didn't you crash out?
Because I always been on my God body shit before I got down here. I graduated in 95, so from 95 to 99, I didn't go to college. All my friends went to college. I went straight into the workforce. So I'm working in factories and changing oil and shit. But at this time, I'm educating myself in the knowledge of self, in the philosophies of life, esoteric religion, spiritual practices, astrology. But I mean, it really, it's the gods and the earths.
Yeah.
It's the 85ers.
Yeah,
It's
nah,
the
for
knowledge,
sure.
wisdom, and understanding. It's supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet.
Absolutely.
Like that gave me my foundation to have some type of, like, you are somebody. And now the somebody that you are is up to you to determine, to be as much or as least as you could fathom. And I got an amazing imagination, so my goal was always to be Tupac and Michael Jackson and KRS-One and Wu-Tang Clan with Nas and the Native Tongues and like Cash Money. It's this dumbass collective of all that I've seen that goes into making something that's gonna be different, because if we don't switch it up, ain't nothing gonna be different. It's gonna be the same cycle over and over again. So this is just me on steroids. I wasn't on steroids before.
Yeah.
Like, I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the belief that I was capable. Now I have
Gotcha.
the belief that I'm capable.
Now you have the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding.
The experience to back up what I've been through. It ain't just something it wasn't just something I heard, but now it's something I know, something I understand.
Absolutely. Now I'm into supreme mathematics as well. So when I would when I would hear you rap, like I was all in, because I remember growing up, and Milwaukee's a city that has like a huge Black Panther, organization there, and is Milwaukee's a pro-Black city. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, like Milwaukee, celebrate Juneteenth. For years I grew up celebrating Juneteenth, and then coming down here and seeing them do their celebrations, I'm like, yo, they damn near shut down a part of the city in Milwaukee for Juneteenth. Like, it is a huge,
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's a huge deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to travel more.
But that's amazing to hear though, because if you didn't have like those certain principles in place, then it would have been easy for you to crash out, for you to spread the family business, for you to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I I love wrestling too, so I get it. I'm gonna let you body slam me, and I'm gonna act like my back is broke, and I'm gonna goddamn even get wheeled out. And if that's gonna sell it, I'll play the role, because I understand what we're doing. But if that's not what we're doing, it's like, well, damn, how the fuck did I think that we was doing this if we're not?
Right.
So then that's where it's a certain level of reality, or recapitulating, as Reverend Ike would say. You gotta recapitulate, which means that every day you come in, although you may have left it at 32 degrees yesterday, you got to come in and measure it again today. And you got to come in and measure it again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. You always check the levels to make sure it is what it's supposed to be. Don't just go out there assuming.
Yeah.
So, more keys that I learned, which I can now just spill into my life.
No, for sure. And it seems like you were able to make a pretty quick pivot, because you were featured on that MF Doom album, that MM Food. That wasn't too far, like, you know what I'm saying, from like all of the scenario that you were going through with DTP, right?
Correct. And then it also took longer to bring music out back in the day. So,
Right.
But a lot of stuff I was doing, they were separated. They were isolated from each other. Like, I only got on MF Doom's album because of Star. Star had the relationship with Doom.
Yeah, shout out to Star.
And Star was like the first person I met when I came to Atlanta and went to my first hip hop show or whatever at the Samba Reptile.
Yeah.
So she put me on that record, like with her. So that was fortunate. Even if it wasn't that, me doing BET Uncut shit with Tech Money from the Real World Hawaii, if they didn't allow me to come rap with them, like these were opportunities that helped me not crash out. Because when you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket busts, niggas crash out. But if you got your shit sporadically spread and you balanced out to where it's like you ain't tripping if the basket tumble, cause fuck, I got 4 more baskets, 5 more baskets. So that's what really helped a nigga not crash out, was just being creative, staying active, but then knowing that, you know, that ain't the only pussy I'm gonna get in the world. There's plenty of bitches out there. I'm gonna get some more. Just gotta, you know, I don't gotta slip my wrist over this one. I'll do the little crying or whatever, do some push-ups, and then get back out there in the street.
So in 2007, you released your debut album, Fantastic Four Eyes.
Oh yeah, that was a tragedy. That shit was absolutely terrible. That was terrible because once again, I was still not knowing the business right. I was putting the wrong people in charge. I had a really great album release party. I had investors. I had like $1 million worth of investors, but I had a shady investor. This nigga used all the money to like fly hookers over the Grand Canyon and shit in private planes and do stupid ass shit. So money that was supposed to be used to facilitate the success of that album was squandered and wasted.
Wow.
But that's where my 4 Eyes sticker campaign came from. So more fire to the legacy pile is, as far as me being a legend. Niggas love that sticker campaign more than anything, and I couldn't have done it without DJ Scorpio, and that's probably one of the best things that came from that album you speak of.
Word. And the sticker campaign, you talking about like when you was like tagging like the whole city of Atlanta, like?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When I first moved down here, it was these red and white Mark Echo stickers that was all over the motherfucking place. And when I got with DJ Scorpio, Promotions, Predator, Crunk Energy Drink, and Super Friend, I said, we need to do a sticker campaign similar to that Mark Echo sticker campaign. And he said, nigga, I did the Mark Echo sticker campaign. And I said, holy shit, look how God worked. So we designed the 4 Eyes sticker after the red and white Mark Echo stickers. And he hit up all the same spots because he already had his run. You hit Northside Drive this way, and then it's gonna run into Metropolitan, and that's gonna take you down to 75 of Cleveland Avenue. Then on another day, you come back up and you hit goddamn Bankhead all the way from 285 till it hit Northside again. And then we come back up on another, and he just had all these routes to where when you looked up in a month, it was like my sticker was every goddamn where.
Wow.
And we started getting citations, and we stopped doing that shit immediately because that shit was expensive.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, did you? I think I read somewhere you were into graffiti as well, right?
No, but what happened was the graffiti folks embraced me because of the sticker campaign. It was like tags. So then, you know, Dax or
Dr.
goddamn. Come on, man. Just all the art crew, all the tattoo folks, the Tukis, Samba, rest in peace. Man, it was just, I was embraced by a whole nother community that I was unaware of that let me know how hip hop Atlanta really is.
Yeah.
Because it's just little pockets of shit that, you know, you raise it up, it's like, oh shit, I had no idea. And whole bunch of little steps to get you to Antarctica, man.
No, for sure. Because and to your point, a lot of people don't know like that Atlanta has such a vast underground scene. I mean, you got cats painting graffiti, skateboarding, you know what I mean? Like you've got like that whole vibe that you might think is only in parts of LA or New York or, you know what I mean?
All of it, it's all here.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you were really good at utilizing like all of the elements of hip hop to continue to build yourself as this underground legend.
My label, my company is called Atlanta B Street. I was raised off B Street, Crush Groove, and Breaking.
Yes, sir.
I mean, those were my pillar hip hop movies as far as seeing how it's done, or the dedication, the level of expression, the multicultural involvement, the teamwork, the camaraderie, dedication, just all the good shit came from those movies. So there's what always is gonna, it's my foundation. So I'm always gonna, you probably look like your mama or your daddy, don't you?
Absolutely.
That's because it's in your blood.
Yeah.
When it's in your blood, it comes out in your features. So it comes out in my features because it's in my blood.
That's real. That's real. Beat Street was that the one where Sidney Poitier? That's the one where Sidney Poitier was playing Russell Simmons, right? Like,
you are hilarious.
Or is that Crush Groove?
Are hilarious. Yes, it was Crush Groove.
That was
it's not
Crush Groove.
Sidney Poitier. It's Blair Underwood.
Blair Underwood. I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
good. Fucking hilarious.
No, I had the.
So run. I need you to get back in the studio, run.
Yo.
Sidney Poitier would be hilarious as motherfucker.
Oh no, Sidney Poitier would be funny than a mug playing Russell Simmons.
Oh, shit.
But yo, Crush Groove was, I would say Crush Groove was the movie that like made me know that I wanted to like get into hip hop. Like I always, you know, my dream, I wanted to be like the next Russell Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Minus the allegations.
And see, I wanted to be Curtis Blow, but I didn't know that I wanted to be, that I was gonna be Russell by default. It's like so much shit that you're 100% accurate. Like I didn't know, like how Mr. Miyagi was teaching Daniel's son karate with motherfucking chores and labor around the house.
Right.
I didn't know I was learning about the music business or having the vision or foresight to orchestrate or conduct, to executive produce. It wasn't until hindsight being 2020, I look back like, damn, this is just like Russell with Crush Groove, or damn, this is just like when he borrowed that money from that nigga that beat his ass in the club.
Right.
Or damn, it's just like, so it's all these lessons to get your dream established and sacrifices that got to be made, and you know, in order to make that shit work.
Nah, that's real. That's real. I mean, you took all the lessons that you learned over time and just being resourceful and put yourself in position to, you know, like really do some big things.
Yeah, man, a lot of it was not wanting to fuck up. Being a Virgo, which is a virgin, I mean, I'm gonna hold on to my virginity until I feel comfortable to get, you know, butt booty ass naked. But once a motherfucker get comfortable, nigga, we all out with it. And I'm just the most comfortable because I'm centered in my spirituality and the Most High. Most of all, Almighty Supreme Creator of the universe that exists within inside each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Source energy, cosmic consciousness, infinite intelligence.
For sure.
It's like I can't lose with that, and I was missing that before. That was the main thing that was hindering me, was I kept looking outside for myself, and I had to take a minute to look in.
Do you remember the point where you got enlightened? Because it seems like you've been studying for a long time, but then what was the point? What was that point where you knew that it was within you?
It was 3 days before Thanksgiving, 1994. I was working as an oil mechanic at Oil Express in Oak Park, Illinois, and my boss had sent me to go get a Xerox copy at the convenience store across the street. And when I was coming back, I had crossed and got hit by a car that was driving over the double yellow medians trying to make a left turn during traffic. I got knocked unconscious, and the ambulance had to, come revive a nigga, but I was going in and out of consciousness. And first, I remember not wanting to die. And I remember rapping in the ambulance, trying to just keep myself awake, and I still kept passing out. But my sister, I didn't have no broken bones. I just had to like rehabilitate my leg. It was like super stressed. Like I had to learn how to walk on that bitch again. So I was out of school for like 2.5 months. But my sister, she said, and you know God got a plan for you. You know you alive for a reason. And that, in 1994, junior year of high school, was my awakening. I just didn't know. It was like Johnny Five. He needed input. He was alive. He knew he was conscious, but he didn't have no information.
Yeah.
So that's why everything he said was need input. Need input. Give me the book. More input. And he needed it to to express himself and fully be, he couldn't be without information. So once my light came on, then it was yeah, I done seen faces of death and people shoot themselves in the face and jump off of buildings, and like it's people who try and commit suicide who don't die. And then there's people who like slip on a bar of soap in the tub and die. So it's like, what is the invisible, intangible presence that made it so that I didn't get completely fucked up when I got hit by that car? And from that moment on, I just have been constantly getting in tune with that motherfucker. So this is the full culmination of God body expression.
Yes, sir.
Illuminated animal, solar sausage.
That's what's up, bro. No, that's amazing, bro. That's amazing to, you know what I mean, like to be enlightened that young and to you know, at least begin understanding your purpose. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people live their whole lives and never understand their purpose. And I mean, it sounds like, you know, you being in these situations to understand your purpose so early helped to prepare you. Like, you know, my question was, how didn't you crash out? Now I understand.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people crash out, or even seen a lot of artists that, you know, get swept up in the shit. And cool, you get swept up, we all do, but then it's like, how do you come back, or how do you bounce back? And, you know, what's really your priority, what's most important to you? And no matter what, man, I don't know why, but I just feel like there are more invisible things than there are visible things. And we keep paying attention and giving credit and credence to the visible things that we can see, but there are so many more invisible, intangible things that are all around us. So that is where I chose to put my stock.
That's real. I mean, because, yeah, like you said, so many of us put value into materials, you know what I mean? But don't put that value into our spirit and into even just like the betterment of ourselves. You know what I mean? If you knew better, you do better.
Well, everybody knows that you go to the gym when you want to work out. It's motherfucking Planet Fitnesses and crunches and all type of shit. But where do you go to exercise your spirit? Like, not organized religion, but like, where do you go to exercise your spirit? What machine, what elliptical do you get on? What treadmill, what weight bench do you get on for spiritual shit? For emotional shit? So these are things that come out in the mix of us living life, and we got to figure it out and try not to overlook it when it happens. Because that shit'll happen, and then we still be so mad that the learning moment or the lesson in it passes, or it ends up being fleeting. So we just gotta take them breaths and just be aware and more mindful. It's hard to explain, but it's not.
No, I understand. I mean, for me, that place would be, I would say, for me, that place would probably be, it's a couple of places. The gym, you know what I mean? Like where I find, where I, like I always say, like, man, the gym is my safe haven. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I can go put my headphones on, kind of drown out from everything, you know? And then like even, you know, like maybe like a year ago, like I got into doing yoga, like regularly, you know what I mean? Something to just keep my mind, like that takes my mind, I'm able to put myself in a whole different place, you know what I mean?
I heard about that yoga shit.
Yeah, nah, it's ill, nah, for sure. But nah, it's interesting that you say that though, because it's like, yeah, like if you want to go work out or, you know, work on yourself physically, you know, you go to the gym, but like, where do you go to, you know, work on yourself mentally? That's not a place where they're gonna force religion on you. You know what I mean?
And even from the body aspect, motherfuckers got chest day, they got arm day, they got leg day. It's all the things physically that we know to do. You even, you know, do your meal prep or you count your carbs and all this is all the intake. From a physical standpoint, we know all these things to do to get the body to be built and operate. But what is the spiritual shit the spirit, the exact spiritual equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Like what is the equivalent of leg day to the spirit? You know, so what is the equivalent of core day to the spirit?
Yeah.
And that is an internal dialogue and conversation that everybody has to have with themselves, and that comes from time and your 40 days in the wilderness or in the desert,
For sure.
or, you know, away from all the shit.
Yeah.
And then you come back, reemerge, the phoenix out of the ashes, the butterfly out of the cocoon. Nature has shown us a grillion goddamn times how we supposed to be, but we keep going opposite of nature.
Yeah. Remind me of the KRS-One song on the KRS-One self-titled album.
It ain't natural.
Come on, bruh. Where he talking about like, like where he talks about like, you know, at one point, you know, I was ISIS, or, you know
Yes,
what I mean?
man.
Where he talked about being Marcus Garvey.
I'm playing
you
it
know
when I
what
get in
mean?
the car.
Yo,
Exactly.
But like, you know what I mean? Talking about like how, okay, I was here at one point, you know what I mean? In another form, and breaking that down to, you know, being here now and being in tune, you know, to that. So let me, you know, reverse that and ask you, have you found the mental spiritual leg day? Have you found the mental spiritual bicep back day?
I want to say yes. Yes. And it's funny because I'm trying to frame it like, so then what would it be? Nature. I've been told numerous times that nature is the key, which I totally understand. We are, you know, electromagnetic beings. As far as us grounding, taking off our shoes, putting our feet in the grass, hugging trees, like electricity is ever present in the ether. We're not supposed to be paying for electricity.
Right.
And if we knew the proper ways to harness it or get it out, it's everywhere. In particular, it's in this electromagnetic plane. It's in the nature. It's why everything is designed the way it is. So we got to get out and be in nature. We got to be in the sun. We got to take off bogus ass clothes with shit in them. It's all these things that I'm aware of that I still don't actually do.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's-
that's real.
It's a lot of like, it's like, damn, if I know better, I do better. And it's like, damn, but I do know better, but I'm not doing better. So what's up with that shit?
I understand, because that's almost like, you know, like I've always heard like wearing deodorant, they have all these
Yep.
metals in it and this and that.
Yeah, no aluminum.
No, the aluminum,
Yeah, you got to do the, you know, the whatever shit. I fucking.
Them natural ones, I think one of them is called Tom's or something like that. Or I can't remember, but
Tom's is one of them.
Okay.
They got a few, but it's just
man, I
that.
tried one and I was musty at the end of the day.
And see, that's the other thing, man. They done conditioned us to hate our own natural body odors, or if we eating rotten meats and foods and shit. And once again, I eat fish, chicken, and turkey like a motherfucker. So I'm just speaking on what I know.
Right.
And I'm still lumping myself in that same category.
Yes, sir.
If we eat dead shit that's gonna rot or not put the best output in our body, in our digestive system, then that helps explain why we got the body odors, or that's why it is perfumes and all these things to cover up these odors, because we don't know how to naturally do a bunch of shit. Since we're inorganically or artificially doing shit, we're dealing with the byproducts of us inorganically and artificially doing shit. So now you got to mask it up with some makeup, or cover it up with some lotion, or put some spray or antiperspirant or something on it to hide it.
Yeah.
And we just gotta, just one day at a time. We just gotta get better one day at a time.
But that's so real though, bro, because, you know, like over the past couple of years, like I've, you know, really switched up like my diet and my routine and everything. I mean, I've lost 60 pounds in the past 2 years.
You look good, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. And, you know, like just, you know, working, you know what I mean, regularly, I call it putting in them daily deposits.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like, there are like certain things that I noticed, like when I started eating clean, like really clean, like bro, I used to have like dry skin, dry scalp. Man, I remember one time I went to get a retwist and the girl that twisted my hair was like, yo, you don't have no dandruff in your hair. And she was like, this not normal. You know what I mean? Like, what you been doing? I was like, yo, I changed my diet, you know what I mean?
So it's wild because those things, that is the chest day, the spiritual chest day. It's a decision in your mind that you already know that you made up, because your body can't reflect nothing that you and your mind don't cast the image of first.
Yeah.
This whole world is a reflection. That's why Mike Jack said, the man in the mirror. You gotta start with the man. This world will reflect what you cast, what you put out.
Yeah.
But we keep thinking that the reflection is some external shit. It's like, no, it's all coming from within. And the sooner we lock in and get tight within, the sooner our physical body appearance and external reality environment will reflect that. Because, I mean, once again, I've seen videos of niggas walking, should be murdered by a car, and the car don't hit them.
Yeah.
I just seen a plane roll over and catch on fire, and motherfuckers, if you didn't die, so it's plenty of things that we think are supposed to be our demise, but it's not. So then when it's not, that means we got purpose, we still got mission, we still got something. And it's everybody's job to turn that something into something. Is to make shape of that something. And you ever seen Adjustment Bureau?
Nah.
It's a movie with Matt Damon that I always reference with my brother. I think Emily Blunt's in it too. I like Emily Blunt. Point is, the Watchers from the Marvel comics. It's always in stories in ancient folklore or whatever, a group of individuals, even in the Bible, of watchers, some people that are observant. And in their observations from time to time, they might do something as far as help guide or influence. And you know, we'll say it's our ancestors, you know, somebody looking over us. But I can clearly tell that throughout my life, nigga, it's not me. I'm not doing a lot of shit. Something has been an aid and a help, and I've been just fortunate enough to follow the direction or the hint, or the sixth sense, or the woman's intuition, or the gut feeling, whatever it is, to
discernment.
Where, it's something in you that, I'm just not finna do that, or let me put my money over there. And at this point, I'm really thankful, grateful for where I'm at, because it got me really excited for where I'm about to go.
Wow, that's what's up. And you released 7, maybe 8 independent albums, right?
Oh man, a bunch of, me and Chaos been snapping once we formed the Ultra Beast. We put out group projects, and then I put out a project during the pandemic that I'm about to re-release. And it's been just a series of kind of mixtapes, you know, just taking advantage of, just want to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because it ain't like a lot of shit you can't find. That's why me and Chaos got together. It was like we didn't have a digital streaming platform presence at all from 2010 or up until 2019. So then we just went in and locked in and just started to create a bunch of music, put out some projects, and then I really just been running that mission the whole time. Like all them freestyles I was doing on Instagram, I was just rapping that's what. So I only did that. I only started rapping on the internet like that because I was doing a hip hop comedy trio with Head Crack and You George. It's called a live comedy mixtape. And my goal was to promote one of the shows. I was doing it on my birthday. And it was Luda Day weekend, which is Labor Day weekend here in Atlanta. and I was at a basketball game. He always do the celebrity basketball game, and I took a picture with him and Head Crack, and when I posted the picture, I said, "Hey, out here for Luda Day weekend, we getting ready for live comedy mixtape on my birthday. Ludacris said he's gonna make sure I have a great birthday." That was it. Or it was something to that effect. I didn't say the nigga was finna be at the party. I didn't say he was coming.
Yeah.
That could have been him. That was me suggesting he finna give me a sack of weed or something.
Yeah.
It could have been anything, but I didn't say he was coming to the party. That man had his assistant call me and say, "Yeah, man, I got Chris Bridges online holding for you. One moment, please." Transferred Chris over, and nigga was like, "Yeah, man. Oh, wait a minute. I take that back. That was another call." So I didn't talk to Chris this time. His assistant just called me and told me that he felt a certain type of way, as if I was using his image to promote a party, and that is, it's taboo. I totally understand that. But once again, he wasn't on the flyer.
Right.
It was a picture that we took, and I said, we gonna get ready to celebrate my birthday. But he looked at it as, "I see what you're doing here. You're using this picture as an opportunity to get people to come support your event that I have nothing to do with." And I get it. I guess if he wasn't getting paid for it, but once again, I didn't say the nigga was gonna be there no matter what. So, I had to change the verbiage of the picture. I left the picture up, but I changed the verbiage.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, well, if this nigga think that I'm using his image to build my brand and promote my party, what can I do that don't involve him or anybody that I can use to build my brand and promote my party? And I started the 7-day freestyle campaign on Instagram. And then the 7-day campaign went so good, motherfuckers was like, "Yo, you should do this every day."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? I think I could do this shit every day." And I went on a run.
I mean, you was going
3 months straight.
crazy with the freestyle every single day.
I think the first month, cause see, I had just got a job. I got promoted at Edgewood Pizza. I was the manager now. So now I'm supposed to be, I got managerial shit I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not, cause I'm getting my costume together, my dumbass hats, picking the beat and all the shit. So I went from doing it every day to I took Sundays off. Then I did like 3 months of that before I just went to like doing one a week, because I was just burnt out. But it was great. Nick Cannon started following niggas, and Snoop Dogg gave niggas reposts, and got super cool again with Jack Thriller.
Yeah.
And it was like all these, like social media, I actually saw how and why it works. Before I wondered, why do niggas post so much, or why they do? I saw it firsthand, is that when you consistent and you talented, and it's quality and quantity, nigga, that shit is like heaven.
Yeah.
And I saw it firsthand how people responded to it, so it encouraged me to constantly stay consistent. Whatever I do a whole bunch of it. And that's why, nigga, it's about to be a tear. I'm literally building, I'm pulling the slingshot back as far as it can go, so when I let that bitch fly, that rock is out of here.
Yeah.
That shit gone.
Nah, that's what's up, man. And it's dope, the fact that, you've gone through the things that you've gone through, and right now at this time, you have the same ambition that you had, when you came in the game. You know what I mean?
Man, I am 47 with no children. I always wanted to wait till me and my significant other was locked in, like before I fostered or goddamn any children. But at the same time, that's some more of that, like, all right, man, if you ain't got no responsibilities, so you could really lock in a way that other folks don't get to lock in.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's where I'm like, all right, let me really make sure I'm putting the gems and the jewels in this music that I'm really edutaining to the fullest degree that I'm aware and capable of doing.
Yeah. Does the rap game owe Four Eyes anything?
No, rap game don't owe me nothing at all. I always like to give credit to everybody. Like, you know how when Eminem won not won, but you know, what, his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech? Nigga, he said every rapper that he ever listened to. Like, literally. And that's what it sounded like. He named every rapper who he ever grew up on.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, that's how I feel as far as I want folks to know that they influenced me. They might be struggling out of the world, out the music, like passed away, forgot about, whatever the case may be, but I want everybody to know how they influenced me, because I grew up wanting people to know how I influenced motherfuckers. So for the same accolades or recognition that I would like to get that didn't get, I want to make sure I give it to those where I got it from.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, and everybody eats that way.
Yeah. That's what's up. You know, it's funny because like when you're driving in your car, you listen to the radio and you hear like these law office commercials. It's like a guilty pleasure to like some of them. Yeah. But then I remember hearing one and I'm like, yo, bruh, spitting on this shit.
Yeah, man.
And then to find out that was, you know, that's actually you on the Bethune Law Firm commercial.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Big Check Bethune. Shout out to J-Ro. J-Ro hooked that up. He coordinates all the Bethune Law Firm jingles. He came up with the slogan, after you get hit Bethune. And we've been cool for a minute, and then he was just finally like, hey man, we need to get one in. So we went to Mud Knock Studio, Mud Knock hooked up the beat, and that thing been running, I want to say almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
But it's dope because it also introduced me to another side of the game, the jingles.
Yeah.
Like, music is the underbelly to everything, especially when you're selling something or product. So to associate music or to use the music to tell a story, to promote a product or to advertise a product, or shit, just to tell a story associated with some sports or anything, music is a instrument that is very watery. Like it can take the shape of whatever you wrap it around. To have that level of presence, like my homeboy just came into town from Chicago, Mike Streets, and he was like, yo, nigga, I heard you on the radio when you got down with the commercial. And I don't have no songs playing on the radio, so to have the jingle playing, it keeps me present or relevant where I otherwise may have been forgot about. So sure. It's so many ways to stay, you know, like, hey, I ain't put out an album, but there's a jingle going, or I ain't did that, but it's a commercial or a feature or this or that or the third. But the music industry has shown me that it is a cornucopia. It's a bunch of fruit in there. You just got to figure out which one you want.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. It's like you better go and get it because it's out here for you.
Oh boy, the horn of plenty.
So you got a new project coming out?
Oh yeah, the new project, All Seeing Eyes on Me. It's a play on the pyramid on the back of the dollar with All Seeing Eye on it, and Tupac's double CD, All Eyes on Me, in which, for this podcast run I'm about to do in these stories, I'm telling all eyes finna be on me. I got so much that I have not said that now I'm about to come out of my face, and I have a lot of attention on me. A lot of folks been be paying attention, and the best part about getting folks to pay attention is I got something to give them now. Yeah. A lot of folks give folks attention, but then they don't got nothing to give them. They don't got no substance. It's like, oh, I am drip, jam-packed, full of substance. Yeah. And it's time to disperse it to the community properly.
Word. And so can we expect you to be talking about, you know, some of these different topics and sharing like some of this within the music, or?
Oh yeah, so this first project that's coming out, this All Seeing Eyes on Me, is a double album. I pretty much just took, it's like a 4 Hours Greatest Hits with a bunch of new songs on it. So you know the project features Ludacris, Big Gip, Sean Price, Talib Kweli, Planet Asia, Mr. Fab, Bone Crusher, Big Rube, J Live. Nigga, it's a bunch of niggas. It's a lot of folks on it. But that album is more just me rapping for rap's sake because I like wordplay and spitting. The next album I got coming out is called Slave Boats with Seatbelts. It's coming out June 10th.
Okay.
That shit got all the shit that we've been talking about on it.
Yeah.
I'm going into various conspiracy theories as well as other tidbits of history that may have been suppressed by them motherfuckers. But that shit is super jamming. And then I did a short run of a project called Ronald Reagan Sold Crack, which revisits how, you know, the black communities were heavily affected by the infiltration and saturation of drugs throughout the community, and it being intentionally done by the government that we vote for and support with our tax dollars.
Reaganomics.
Right. So I love using music and my voice to bring light to issues that get overlooked or need to be addressed or readdressed even. So mixtape is fun, get everybody attention. Then we hitting them with the slave boats with seatbelts. Got to protect your slaves, got to put them on a seatbelt. And then Ronald Reagan Sold Crack, more than likely to come out after that. But then I got a Cousin Snoop album, because everybody say I look like Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
so I'm doing like a 4 Eyes impersonate Snoop type of music. A lyrical Southern Snoop Dogg, if you will. Yeah, it's crazy. And then Atlanta Beat Street compilations, but nonetheless, the more real substance, real life we put into the music, because that killing shit is dead, actually, and it's dying more and more every day, and the more people come to it, especially if we're gonna raise and elevate our frequency, the quality of the music gotta reflect that.
Absolutely.
So I don't sell drugs or kill niggas at all in my music.
Yeah.
I speak on things that are more insightful, that is actually something we could pass on. It's morals.
Yeah.
It's stories. The art of storytelling. So that's what 4 Eyes music got in it.
Chicago, you know, is so known for, you know, drill music, you know, cat sliding on their ops, every other bar. You know, the evolution of hip hop in Chicago, you know, has been an interesting one. Do you feel that the drill scene will ever go away, or will it only get bigger? Because it seems like they've tried to ban it, but it doesn't seem like that's really been successful. And I don't even know how you can necessarily ban a genre of music, but.
Well, if we're gonna be straight up, I don't like to talk about putting Band-Aids over bullet wounds. And a lot of conversations, they be surface conversations, and it's my job to get to the root of it. And as long as record labels have any invested stock in the private prison system, drill music or any music that promotes the violent killing and behavior within our community amongst our people, is going to be pushed to the forefront because there's a profit in it for them. And we could keep wondering and asking why, but if we don't really like that's the best part about me not wanting to be an 85er. It's like dumb, deaf, and blind. Or you're always asking who, what, when, why, where, and how. Right. It's like, well, my father always told me don't ask stupid questions, but then I go to school and they say there's no such thing as a stupid question. And my father would say, no, nigga, if you do not search your mind for the possible answer that could exist, and you say some shit that you have the answer for because you didn't take the time to think about it yourself, that's a stupid question. So with that being said, it's certain shit that ain't gonna go away because it's in the best interest of the powers who feed on our energy to keep things the way that they are.
Yeah.
And as much as I would like to, yeah, so that's where the first step is knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe said it. Once we know, then we could do something about it. And I don't think enough niggas know.
That's real. And I don't think enough niggas want to know.
Yeah, so that's why
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, so now we got to make knowing sexy somehow.
Yeah.
We got to trick them like a tranny.
Yeah. 4 Eyes, my brother. You got any shout outs you want to give, bro?
Oh man, God is amazing, and it's always shout outs to the Most High. Shout out to my mama Claudine, my brother number 2, New Face. I got to scoot over to point to New Face just to keep it straight. Shout out to Roster Root. Man, shout out to AOS Fresh. Man, so many folks. Shout out to Mud Knock Studios. Shout out to Ray Murray from Organized Noise and DJ Prince Paul, who will be at my album release party April 4th at Aisle 5, doing a producer showcase for my mixtape release party. We also got Afro gonna be in the building, Star gonna be in the building, Boog Brown gonna be in the building, DJ Shakim gonna be on the 1s and 2s. That's at Aisle 5. That's who I want to shout out.
Yeah. That's what's up, bro. 4 Eyes, appreciate you pulling up on us, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I've been looking at this porch for a hot little minute, and I am very happy to be here.
Bro, well, just know, bro, that this is home, and you know what I mean. Like, you more than welcome to pull up, and you know what I mean. Shit, it's always a place for you here, bro.
Man, thank you, brother. As a fellow medicine glasses, spectacle wearing brother with locks,
oh, yeah.
I salute you.
Virgo,
and
spiritually
Virgo,
guided.
come on, man.
You feel me? Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
It's 4 Eyes, I carry the weight of the world on my back. What you do it for? It's ultra